Hi, Manoj.
Hi Harsh, how are you?
Welcome to the webinar, and really good to have you here.
Oh,
Uh,
thank
I
you.
am I am reaching out to you from Pune. It is 32 degrees Celsius outside, nice and warm. October has begun for us here, and heat has already started making.
Great.
So, hi, Lakshmi. Good evening.
Hi Harsh, good evening.
Okay, so let us get started with this, Manoj. And it's such a privilege to have you here. And I really like the way your progress, your journey through the past 2.5 decades has been. So let me just introduce you to the participants. Manoj has got 2.5 decades of experience. Manoj has started his career in the 90s. He has joined, a couple of, organizations which were in software. Then he's moved to HCL, and then he's moved to Boston. He went to US, and after working in US, he was the first initial wave of the reverse brain drain, where Manoj came back into India, in the first decade of 2000, and then started setting up shop here. Uh, from India. So, in fact, Manoj, you were featured in the Newsweek also, right? You were one of the
Right,
first ones who
right,
got
right, right.
featured.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. I got a clipping of that article. So good to see you here. And now you are a thought leader. You're leading this organization called BRT as the digital transformation head. You also headed a French, IT major, the TCS of France for so many years when you were here in India. Now you're a thought leader, mentor, and also guide for startups. So you do a lot of work in startup community. So I want to ask you that what are the changes and shifts you're observing today in this new, normal?
Sure, Harsh. So first of all, thank you for this great introduction and taking me back to my last 25 years very quickly. And thank you for inviting me to speak today. I am quite delighted to speak to you and all the participants who have joined in this evening on this very, I would say, very relevant and timely topic. So just to begin with, uh, uh, so when you are talking about the topmost observations in last few months, yeah, I can actually put all together in 4 or 5 points. So the first observation that I have, which I think most of us would relate to, is our work environment has got drastically changed. I would say it's a kind of a disruption. So this COVID-19 has shown us that work can be done from anywhere, and the productivity is not something which can be bound between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 p.m. working hours. And in this process, I think organizations have also learned that work from anywhere is possible. Employees are given the right set of tools and technologies. So the second part I would say would be uh, most of us have accelerated shift to digital technologies. It's not like digital transformation was not talked about before this pandemic, but I would say now it has become a talk of the town, and is quite widely now spoken in most of the business strategies. In fact, year-long digital transformation roadmaps have compressed into weeks and months in order to adapt to this new normal. And third thing would be our initial previous inhibitions to innovations have been broken down. So innovation is no longer a luxury. I think it's a necessity,
Correct. It's
and
compressed.
it's
Exactly.
compressed. Yeah, and we have been forced to adopt an innovation mindset, I would say, and which also leads to automation, which is now the new normal. And now businesses are more keen to use digital automation platforms, which includes RPA, artificial intelligence, and data analytics. And last but not least, I would say, uh, COVID-19 has spurred survival of the fittest landscape. So, before this, very few organizations and business executives were prepared for this overnight shift into this new era. And I think whosoever was able to adapt and innovate has been able to survive and stay alive. And this pandemic has exposed, I would say, a clear divide like those companies which are already invested, which were already investing in digital operating models, they have been able to fare much better than those which had not. So in this, so I would say in a nutshell, these are like my 4 or 5 observations in last few months of this paradigm shift which we have all been witnessing.
So great. Thank you for this. And I'm going to take the same thing a little forward. So, as a thought leader, what are those three goals or aspirational goals an organization should have in the current new normal?
So I think in this new normal, the organizations, first of all, I think they should promote a culture of accelerate the outcome or look at the outcome from the very beginning, and in a way like promote a culture of failing fast among your team. So that would also mean fail early, fail often, but always fail forward. So that is, I think, one of the goals the organization should be
I like
setting up.
that. What is that? Fail forward, not fail fast. Fail
Yeah,
forward. So
fail
you
forward.
provide
Yeah.
and you forward. That's a nice thought. Fail forward. Right. Another thing I wanted to know that now these are the three goals you have. How do you think an organization should go about building their journey towards these goals? Now, that's a big question, but I leave it to you. How would you think they should go ahead and do this digital transformation journey?
So as you know, our customers are changing quite rapidly due to the urgency brought out by this pandemic, and so agility is the key to success. I think the organization should be adopting agility, as I think the new way of working. So I would say in this new world, it's not the big fish which eats the small fish. It's like fast fish which eats the slow fish. So that
Okay,
should
that's a
be
nice one again. Fast fish eating the slow fish. Okay.
yeah. And also like I think we talked about it earlier, like embracing the power of technology and going digital. So that should be one of the ways of I would say adopting to this new normal. And also I would say adopt a platform or maybe change the methodology of dealing with our customers, delivering to our customers. So in the traditional way, as we know, uh, in the waterfall model, there's a long lead time before actually we see the result. And or maybe, for example, even in this model scale agile delivery approach, the first minimum viable product is delivered to users after only a few cycles. But the need is something different. So I would say go for a platform which gives results quite in advance. So for example, in a low code development methodology, one can create engaging user experience across any device with visual drag and drop and all these IDs. So the MVP version of the product is available quite early, and the new requirements and features can be added in the subsequent versions. So that's what I would say the organization should be moving towards to in order to adapt to this new normal.
Do you have any use case where you can actually talk about it, which was under your leadership?
Yeah, so in fact, BRT, Blue Rose Technologies, the company I am right now, driving the digital transformation for, has been one of the pioneers in low-code application development for many years now, and we are one of the leaders. And so we actually recently partnered. We keep on looking for partners which would help us in taking our journey forward and which will help us in uh, you know, uh, being the digital transformation partners for our customers. So we have recently partnered with them, and we have developed an application that maybe we'll like to demonstrate today. That would actually show how low-code platform is
Can you
something.
demonstrate it in a short time? I mean, is it possible? I mean,
Yeah,
I know I've got
in
Lakshmi
fact,
here, and he's
in
pretty
fact, low-code
confident.
development is all about
Speed.
shortening everything. So we
Uh-huh.
were able to train our team in less than a few weeks. I would say less than a month. And while doing the training, we also developed a complete HRIS system for our stakeholders, internal stakeholders for our company. And maybe we'll just do a quick demo of a module of that application to illustrate, what this low-code development
Sure,
is all
sure.
about and why.
Let's go for it. I'm
No.
sure we'll have questions also coming up. So
Sure. So I have my colleague with me, Lakshmi Kant Penwadi. He's from our low-code consulting team, and he would do that demonstration. So I'll invite Lakshmi to now take over the control and then demonstrate.
Go for it, Lakshmi.
Sure.
Would love to see it.
Yeah. Thanks, Manoj. Thanks, Harsh. Very good evening, everyone. My name is Lakshmikant, and I've been into IT as a developer. It's been 10 years, and I've never been so excited to work on such a platform called WEM, wherein, as Manoj was explaining already, we developed an application within 3 weeks of time. So now I would like to showcase a few things before we see the actual application that we have developed. So I'll showcase how a developer can quickly build an application in WEM platform. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, it is visible. It looks good. Go for it.
Just creating a new demo project here. Just by the click, you can toggle between a mobile app or a web application. The developer doesn't need to take the pain of thinking what he needs to do.
So you use the same platform, right? The same.
That is
same
correct.
thing?
That is correct. Yes, be it a web application or a mobile platform. Yes. And then we just have to fill in the basic information and select the template. And here we are. We have just now created the basic, I would say we have created the backend of the application for now. And for any application, we'll have two basic things. One is the UI, and then we have the data model. So the UI part on the WEM is handled under this flowcharts, whereas the data part is handled using this data model. I'll quickly show. I'll probably just demonstrate how the UI is created. It's all drag and drop here. We have these features which are self-explanatory when you log into this portal, and the flowcharts are even more self-explanatory. It shows us from which screen to which part we are moving to. And the beauty of WEM is that we can do a preview of every module individually. If I want to test this particular flowchart, I just have to do a preview on this particular flowchart as such. We also have other options wherein which the developer might be interested in, but we need not have any development experience when we are developing an application in WEM.
Okay, looks good.
All right, so here we are. We have the welcome note which I have created. It's as simple as that. We just have to drag and drop. Now I just showed an example wherein the UI is created. I'll showcase a simple example wherein we can handle the data model as well. I'm creating
I think the point here, which I think we should all notice, is like this platform enables anybody with analytical mindset, with good business analytical skills, should be able to go and start developing applications, because here the focus is not on technology or the technical complexities of application development, because that is kind of abstracted out in the platform itself. So this platform gives us, all the tools and all the processes to come to do a application development, and the focus could be more towards the application development, or maybe the business features and the requirements. And
so all you need is kind of a domain expertise and knowledge, right?
Correct. So we can focus more on the business need and maybe do a better job in developing something which is near to the customer need than any other legacy application development platform.
That is very true. So I have created a data model for the candidates, and let's just see how we could add the data without any need of coding as such.
So what is that? You just pull through the form and you drop it there, is it?
Exactly. All I'm doing is drop and drag and drop here. I guess I'll be repeating this drag and drop word again and again in the demo today, but that is how WEM works. Like, it's just as simple as that. So everything I'm doing here is basically a drag and drop.
So while we are doing all this demo, I would request all the participants to keep on recording their questions because after this demo, we'll have a session where we will be taking up all the questions.
That's it. Even the functionalities behind the save and the cancel buttons again are entirely drag and drop. When I have when I need to save the data, I click on the save button and route it to the save database changes icon, which is readily available.
So you
Otherwise,
just follow the logic and how the flow is, and you can actually build things.
that's correct, Harsh. Yeah. This is a pretty simple application that I have developed probably within, I would say, 4 or 5 minutes. Wherein we have the UI ready, the user can enter the information and either click or cancel. But what I would like to showcase now, so that everyone who is attending this demo would appreciate WEM, I would showcase the application which we have developed, in less than 20 days. Basically, it took us only 15 days of learning plus the actual implementation of the demo of this application. This is the HRS application, which we have created here for the internal stakeholders of the Pluros Technologies.
What I'm seeing is you're actually making changes and then you're looking at previewing. So this comes in one instance or something like that.
That's true. As I've said, we might have multiple flow charts, within our application. So if the developer wants to view only one particular flow chart, yes, he can do it as well. But if he wants to see the entire, the entire workflow of the application, we just need to click the preview button here. So that it's up to the developer, if he wants to debug just one flowchart or have a look at all the flowcharts as such.
And you can make changes on the fly.
Yes, absolutely. So we don't have to make the changes. We don't have the concept of check-in, check-out, and redeployment on. We do not fall into all that confusion here. So everything can be done on the fly.
Wow. Okay.
For this demo purpose, I'm showcasing just one login. We have the authentication here as well. We have created multiple logins based on the user roles like employee, HR, IT admin, or manager, etc. So for this demo purpose, I'll just showcase one simple example of the HR login, wherein the HR will be able to handle data of multiple employees, data of his own details, and approve or reject some pending approvals that are coming into his place, for the documents upload or adding or deletion of insurance dependents. And we have also showcased charts wherein we have a graphical representation of how the projects are in BRT, or which employees pointed to which project, just as a graphical representation. And then the create new employee is nothing but it is kind of an onboarding of a new employee, wherein we are creating a new employee record altogether, and that gets saved in the employee database and also automatically creates a new login in this particular WEM HRS application.
What about the user interface? You can change the look and feel. How do you look at it?
Definitely. So whenever we create a project, we can select the default or the WEM templates that are available. We do have a list of templates here readily available. But if we want to beautify more and be more innovative, yes, we are free to use CSS as well. So Vim does support CSS, but I don't think we would need to go that far, because Vim itself is giving so many templates wherein our application can be much good looking as such.
So you can just pick and choose and then build these templates which are already available. Right?
That's correct. And if you have seen, I have selected this particular template while I created the application, but then I can go ahead and change it now. Even that gets changed automatically when I log in for the next time. So I don't have to take the pain of taking out something and reapplying the other thing later on. I just have to change it, and the change is readily available on the application.
Okay. Lovely. I mean, really, really good. In a flash, actually, you can actually see, the whole. So, Manoj, and the question is even to you, Lakshmi. How much? When did you start, and how was your story in building the application? How much time did you take to do this?
So, Harsh, basically, as I told you just a few minutes back, so we actually were looking for a platform where which is not very IT heavy, which is lightweight, and which gives us flexibility to run the applications on cloud, have a flexibility to deploy the applications in real time in a hot environment. I would say hot deployment. So Vim was the answer, and when we chose Vim, we decided to do our training as well as develop this HRIS system. Uh, I would say in one task. So we spent about 3 to 4 weeks to learn this platform, as well as develop this application which we just demonstrated. So now I think you can very well estimate how I would say this platform would help us, help any nations to really create applications which are low code in nature. Because we talk about a lot of no code, low code deploy platforms, but this one is actually giving us that ability of creating a no code rather than low code. I would say it's a no code platform, and we could actually get access to the cloud environment where all these deployments were possible. We could get the user feedback, instant user feedbacks. We could get our user stories incorporated in the real time. So all this was like quite seamless.
Okay, so my other question is to Lakshmi. You went in very fast and you drag dropped and stuff like that. What's your background, and how much time did you spend with Vim? So we can, the audience can actually look at it, that how much time is there to grasp.
Sure. The entire development of this particular application was just under 1 month, and that includes the training we had as well. So we had the training, and on the job training, we have developed this application. So I was a developer earlier. Yes, I was a developer in different platforms. But then again, we do have freshers, a couple of freshers in our team who had very minimal technical experience, and also our business analyst who was supposed to do the business analyst task was also interested, and gave her contribution was very much into the development of Vim application. So she was equally contributing the way I was doing to the team, in this Vim development. So yeah, I would say learning and developing an application in Vim is quite easy.
Now, where are you based out of? I know Manoj is based out of Delhi. Manoj, you're based out of Delhi, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Where are you based out of, Lakshmi?
I'm from Hyderabad.
So you're based right now in Hyderabad, and you work
Yes.
together in Manoj's team.
Yeah, so we have a part of the team in Bangalore, a part of the team in Hyderabad. Lakshmi is part of our Hyderabad team. I am in Delhi, and and we managed this whole development in less than a month's time. So
what month's time?
Yeah, less than a month's time.
Okay. Now, thank you. I mean, really, really appreciate Lakshmi coming in and showing this platform. Now, my question is to Manoj before we open up, questions to everyone. There are two, questions to Manoj. The second one is obviously very simple. I need coordinates of Manoj. We can share with the audience. Manoj, from here, where? now you're a thought leader. You've been there, done that. USA came back. You're leading a transformation. You've got clients all over. You're around the startup community. So from here, where do you want to go?
Well, you're making me sound like I should actually go and take sannyas. So I've done all the good things in life. So, well, I'm a lifelong learner, and each year I think that maybe it's a time to take retirement, but no, it's not the time to take retirement. I think a lot of interesting things. I'm quite, I'm right now focusing on writing a book as well because work from anywhere or work from home is giving me the required time to write something and jot down, all my thoughts and all my experience. So that is I'm into, and I look forward to, I mean, it's a very interesting journey, and I think we are actually uh, witness to, I think, one of the most interesting times in our life. So uh, you never know what will happen tomorrow. It's very difficult to talk about tomorrow in these times.
Okay, thank you for this. And Manoj, very, very nicely answered. I think writing a book, pretty interesting. Uh, where can we get in touch with you if some of us from the participant community, from the IT community, or from the business community want to get in touch with you? How do we reach out to you?
So one platform is LinkedIn. So I am quite active on LinkedIn. Anyone can come and connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll also share my email ID, in the chat box, so one can connect with me through emails, can connect to me, by writing mails. So by any means, I'm available in through all these, uh, communication mechanisms.
Thank you so much. For a good chat. Loved it, and thank you, Lakshmi, for putting this forward. The demo, very good to look at, and very fast. So the way you were, I thought you were a veteran for a couple of years on this platform. But thank you so much for this.